What's up, Nitish? So I've recently been trying to learn about the world of investing. I don't know very much about investing other than the normal, you can buy a stock and you can sell a stock. So the topic I wanted to learn about was options. Now, an option is a contract which gives the buyer the right but not the obligation to buy or sell a stock at a specific strike price on a specified date, depending on the form of the option. Alright, few keywords we want to learn there. Option, that's the main thing we're talking about. There's two types of options. We'll go over those in a little bit. A strike price, which is the price of the contract that you're buying, the contract in this case being the option. And the date, which is the expiration of your contract. So you have the ability to buy or sell stocks at a certain price up until this point. This is the type of thing that becomes easier if we use an example. Alright, so like I said, there's two types of options. There's a call option and a put option. A call option is the option to buy a stock at a certain price for a certain number of time. So let's say a stock costs $100. If you buy a call on a stock, that means you're buying yourself the option to buy the stock at $100, no matter what price it changes to for a certain amount of time, and that time being the expiration date. So let's say you buy the option to buy a certain stock at $100 for 2 weeks. At this point, there's three things that can happen to that stock value. The stock can go up, the stock can go down, or it can stay the same. Let's say the stock goes up from $100 to $105. You can exercise your option to buy that stock at $100 and then sell it later at $105, which is where it's at now. Essentially, you've made $5 on your option. Now let's say the stock price stays the same. If it stays the same, it was $100 when you bought the option and it's $100 now. There's no point in exercising your option to buy the stock. All that happens is that you lose the amount of money that the option cost. The third scenario is that the stock goes down. Let's say the stock goes from $100 to $90. Again, there's no point for us to now exercise the option to buy the stock at $100 if it's now cheaper. So in this case, we let that option expire, and all that happens is that you lose the amount of money that we put in to buy that option. The second type of option is called a put. A put option is essentially the option to sell the stock at an agreed price before the expiration date. So let's say the stock costs $100 and you buy the put option of selling it at $100 anytime until 1 week from now, which is the expiration date. Again, three things can happen to the stock price. Either the stock goes up to, let's say, $110. If the stock goes up to $110, then there's no reason for you to sell your stock at $100 because you still have to buy the stock at $110. So you would be effectively losing $10. Instead, we let that option expire, nothing happens. All we lose is the amount of money that we spent buying that option. The second thing that could happen is that the stock price stays the same. If it stays the same, if it's $100 now and it was $100 then, there's no point exercising that right. All that happens is we lose the amount of money we put into buying that option. The third thing that can happen is that the stock goes down. If the stock goes down to, let's say, $90, we can choose to exercise the option to sell our stock at $100 and buy at $90. Effectively, we made $10 by buying cheap and selling high because we predicted maybe that the stock would go down. In summary, you'd want to buy a call option when you think that the stock is going to go up. So let's say we think that Sood Dudes, our YouTube channel, is going to start doing really well at some point. If we were to have stock, we could buy the stock now and sell it later at a really high price. That's essentially a call option. On the other hand, a put option is when we think a stock is about to crash. So for example, during a recession, it would have been smart to buy a put option where we say that, hey, we think that stock's going to go down, so let's buy the option to sell these stocks when they're high and buy them when they're low. Now, two quick notes about this stuff. One, options are inherently more risky than buying stock because at the end of the day, when you buy a stock, you own something. You own a stake in a company. But an option really is literally just that. You're buying an option to buy stock for a certain period of time. That is until the expiration date of your option. If at that point you don't sell, you've lost money and you've got nothing out of it. But if you, let's say, buy a stock and the stock goes down, then you still have the option to hold on and wait for it to go back up. The other thing is you can only buy options in groups of 100 instead of one. So let's say I want to buy a stock option that costs $20. If I wanted to buy that, the total cost to me would be $2,000 for the option to buy 100 stocks, not one. So anyway, that's what's been on my mind. And I'll try and keep filming positive pranks throughout the week. We'll see what I come up with. See you in the next one. Peace.